I didn't steal anything. This is my money. 13-year-old Jessica Williams stood trembling at the customer service counter, her voice breaking with frustration as she pleaded. But bank manager Sharon Mitchell's face twisted with disgust as she stared down at the young black girl. A girl like you with this much cash? I don't think so. You probably robbed someone. Jessica's eyes filled with tears as the humiliation hit her. This was supposed to be simple. She was just trying to open her first checking account. Please, just let me call my mom, she begged. Sharon sneered coldly. Save it for the police. I'm not falling for your sob story. Without hesitation, she grabbed the phone and dialed. Yes, I need officers immediately. I have a young thief trying to deposit stolen money. But Sharon had no idea she had just made the biggest mistake of her career, because in less than an hour, she would discover exactly who Jessica's mother was. And when she did, her entire world would come crashing down. A bright Tuesday afternoon, 13-year-old Jessica Williams practically bounced with excitement as she stepped off the city bus downtown. Today wasn't just any day. Today was the day she finally proved to her mother that she was responsible enough to handle her own banking. For weeks, Jessica had been planning this moment. She'd researched account types, practiced what she'd say to the representative, and even rehearsed walking confidently through those glass doors. This wasn't just about opening an account. It was about independence and maturity. Jessica lived in a world most teenagers could only dream of. Her days began in a mansion nestled in Hillrest Estates, where manicured lawns stretched for miles. She attended Westfield Preparatory Academy, where tuition cost more than most people's annual salary, and where her biggest concern was maintaining her 4.0 GPA. But unlike most wealthy kids, Jessica had no idea just how rich her family was. Her mother had deliberately raised her to believe they were simply comfortable. Jessica took the bus to school, shopped at regular stores, and earned her allowance by doing chores and getting good grades. This normal life was no accident. Dr. Angela Rodriguez Williams, Jessica's mother, had grown up as the heir to the Rodriguez banking empire and knew how wealth could destroy humility. So when Jessica was born, Angela made a decision. Her daughter would understand the value of hard work before she ever learned about the family's true fortune. When Jessica walked into First National Bank, she carried an envelope with $800 in birthday money from her grandmother, plus her savings statements showing another $200 to her. This was a fortune. To her family, it was pocket change. The bank's marble lobby hummed with activity. Business professionals hurried between counters, elderly customers waited patiently, and the air buzzed with quiet financial chatter. Jessica straightened her uniform and approached the counter with confidence. The nameplate read, Jennifer Adams. Customer service representative. Hi, good afternoon, Jessica said brightly. I'd like to open my first checking account, please. Jennifer's eyes flicked up, and her smile vanished. Her tone turned sharp. You? Open an account? This isn't a community center, sweetheart. We don't just hand out accounts to every kid who walks in. Jessica's smile faltered. I'm 13 and I have all the documents. I've been saving for this, 13. Jennifer interrupted, snickering. Let me guess, cash from selling drugs or stealing from people? That's usually how kids like you get money around here. Jessica froze, her heart thudding. Kids like me? I don't understand. I go to Westfield Prep. This is birthday money from my grandmother. Sure it is, Jennifer said mockingly. Westfield Prep, huh? You probably stole that uniform too. Jessica's hands trembled. Please, I worked for this. I just want to open an account, Jennifer sighed dramatically. I'm calling my manager. She knows how to handle people like you. She dialed. Sharon, you need to come to window 3. I've got one of those urban kids here trying to scam us with suspicious cash. Moments later, Sharon Mitchell appeared. Her heels clicked sharply as she crossed the lobby, eyes narrowing the moment she saw Jessica. Shouldn't you be in school, young lady? Jessica blinked. I have permission from my school and parents. Here's the slip. Sharon barely looked at it, her gaze fixed on the envelope of bills. That's a lot of cash for someone your age. Where did you get this? Jessica's stomach twisted. It's birthday money from my grandmother. I wanted to deposit it. Sharon's laughter was sharp and cold. Right. Grandmothers don't hand kids $800 in cash. Be honest. You stole it. Jessica's throat tightened. I can show you the birthday card. Please? Sharon waved her hand dismissively. Anyone can fake that. Jessica's world spun. Why was this happening? Why was this woman being so cruel? Please, if you call my mom, she can explain. Sharon smirked. Not happening. You're not calling anyone until we figure out where this money really came from. Jessica's eyes brimmed with tears. Around her, whispers rippled through the lobby. People stared, but no one intervened. She learned a painful truth that day. Some people stand by and watch injustice happen, saying nothing. Sharon crossed her arms. You're lying. I've been in banking for 20 years. Girls like you don't have this kind of cash unless it's stolen. Those words cut deeper than anything Jessica had ever heard. Girls like you, her hands shook as she pulled out every document she had, her school ID, her birth certificate, her savings records, laying them out like cards in a desperate game. Please, she whispered. Just look. They prove this is my money, but Sharon's eyes were cold. Fake, all of it. I've seen this before. Tears spilled down Jessica's cheeks. Please, I just want to call my mom. Sharon leaned closer and hissed. Your mom probably sent you here to launder drug money. I've seen this before, with people like you. Gasps came from nearby customers. Jessica's heart shattered. At 13, she was learning that some people would hate her for the color of her skin. Sharon grabbed the phone again. I'm calling the police. This girl is clearly involved in a scam, Jessica sobbed. Please, don't, please. As Sharon spoke to the dispatcher, Jessica, trembling, pulled out her phone and typed a quick message with shaking hands. Mom, I'm at First National Bank. The manager called the cops. She says I stole the money and won't let me call you. I'm scared. She hit send just as Sharon turned toward her. Give me that phone, Sharon snapped, lunging across the counter, but the message was already gone. It was racing across the city, heading toward a mother whose fury would soon change everything, and what happened next would shock the entire bank. Across town, inside a glass tower that touched the clouds, Dr. Angela Rodriguez Williams sat at the head of a massive mahogany table. Around her were 5 of the most powerful banking executives in the state. Charts glowed on screens. Numbers in the millions rolled easily off tongues. Angela was poised, brilliant, and calm, the very picture of control, until her phone buzzed. Jessica's name flashed on the screen. Mom, I'm at First National Bank. The manager called the cops. She says I stole the money and won't let me call you. I'm scared. For a moment, the room went still. Then Angela's entire demeanor changed. The calm boardroom air froze. The executives who knew her best exchanged nervous glances. They had never seen her expression so cold. She stood abruptly. Gentlemen, this meeting is over. Someone just made a very costly mistake. Angela swept up her phone and keys. Her driver, James, was already moving before she reached the elevator. In rapid succession, she dialed 3 numbers. Her attorney, David Chen, her head of security, Robert Torres, and finally, Charles Morrison, chairman of First National Bank's board of directors. Get to the bank, she ordered. Now. Within minutes, her Bentley was cutting through traffic, black and gleaming like a storm cloud. Jessica was still crying when 2 police officers entered, Officer Bradley Walsh and Officer Maria Santos. They'd arrived with minds already made up. This is the girl, Sharon said proudly. Tried to deposit stolen money. I followed procedure. Officers, please, Jessica begged. It's my money. I have my ID, my savings statements, everything. Walsh waved a dismissive hand. We get calls like this all the time. Young folks mixed up in theft, drugs, you name it. Jessica shook her head. No, you don't understand. Turn around and put your hands behind your back, Santos ordered. The metallic click of handcuffs echoed through the marble lobby. Gasps. Phones raised. No one intervened. Sharon watched with a satisfied smile. In her mind, she had protected her bank. In reality, she had just destroyed her career. 23 minutes later, a sleek black Bentley slid to the curb outside First National. The tinted door opened and Angela Rodriguez Williams stepped out, flanked by her lawyer and security detail. The air seemed to thicken. Every eye in the lobby turned as the glass doors opened. Heels clicked sharply on marble, a countdown to Judgment Day. Angela walked straight to the counter. Her gaze locked on Sharon. "Release my daughter, immediately!" Sharon frowned, not recognizing her. "Look, lady, I don't know who you think you are, but your daughter is a thief." "I did my job. The police took her already." Angela opened her handbag and placed a heavy gold-embossed card on the counter. "I'm Dr. Angela Rodriguez Williams. My family is Rodriguez Financial Holdings. We don't just bank here, we own here." Sharon blinked, confused. "The girl's name is Williams, not Rodriguez." Angela's smile was like ice. "Rodriguez is my maiden name. Williams is my married one. And you just arrested the granddaughter of the man who founded this bank 80 years ago?" Color drained from Sharon's face. Around them, customers whispered. Phones recorded. Before she could stammer a reply, the main doors burst open again. Charles Morrison, the bank's chairman, hurried inside, pale and breathless. "Angela!" he exclaimed. "I came as soon as you called. Where is Jessica?" "Is she hurt?" The crowd froze. The chairman of the bank, calling this furious woman by her first name, told them everything. Angela turned to him. Her voice trembled with restrained fury. "Your employee accused my 13-year-old of theft, refused to verify her identity, denied her a phone call, and had her arrested." Morrison turned on Sharon, aghast. "You what?" "Sir, I followed protocol," Sharon stammered. The girl had cash and no valid explanation. Angela's voice cut through like glass. "She told you it was birthday money. She showed you ID. What more did you need?" Morrison signaled security to bring the surveillance footage. Within minutes, a monitor was rolled out. The recording told the whole story. Jessica entering politely, Sharon's immediate hostility, her refusal to check documents, her words dripping with bias. And worse, other clips from recent weeks. Sharon interrogating minority customers, demanding extra ID, her pattern of discrimination laid bare for everyone to see. Morrison rubbed his temples. "My God, how long has this been going on?" Angela's voice was steady, cold. "I want a full investigation, every incident reviewed, and this woman removed immediately." Morrison nodded grimly. "It will be done. I can't apologize enough, Angela." But Angela wasn't looking for apologies. "Where is my daughter?" "She's been taken to juvenile detention for processing," Morrison replied, already dialing the chief of police. "I'll have her released immediately." Sharon stood frozen behind the counter as two uniformed security officers approached. Angela turned to her one last time. "You know the saddest part, Sharon? My daughter had never experienced racism before today. She believed the world was fair. You took that innocence from her." Sharon opened her mouth, but no words came. "You taught a child that some people will hate her for nothing more than the color of her skin. And that's something she'll never forget." Morrison's voice was official now. "Ms. Mitchell, your employment with First National Bank is terminated immediately. Security will escort you out." The same guards who had stood by as Jessica was handcuffed now walked Sharon out the door. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Angela faced the gathered employees and customers. Her words rang across the lobby. "Let this be a lesson. Racism isn't just wrong, it's bad business. And today, it just cost someone everything." Phones recorded, customers applauded softly. Angela didn't linger. She turned and strode out, her heels echoing like thunder. Her daughter was waiting, and the world was about to hear what happened inside that bank. But the story wasn't over yet. The aftermath of Sharon Mitchell's firing was swift and brutal. Within 30 minutes of Chairman Morrison's order, security was clearing out her office. 2 decades of framed certificates and family photos were packed into cardboard boxes. Her access card was deactivated. Her computer locked. The same bank she had ruled over with arrogance now erased her name from every record, but her humiliation was just beginning. Word spread fast, emails, phone calls, LinkedIn whispers. By the end of the week, everyone in the state's financial network knew Sharon Mitchell had racially profiled the granddaughter of the bank's founding family. She became a cautionary tale, a name murmured in banking seminars as a warning of what unchecked prejudice could cost. Her 20-year career gone, not because of a single mistake, but because of the hatred she had nurtured. Behind polite smiles, the two officers who arrested Jessica didn't escape scrutiny either. Their body camera footage was reviewed frame by frame, showing how they had dismissed the terrified girl's pleas without a single question. Officer Bradley Walsh and Officer Maria Santos were suspended pending a full internal affairs investigation. Supervisors compared their arrest records, discovering that Walsh had arrested black suspects at nearly 3 times the rate of his peers. Santos had used force disproportionately against minorities. The statistics were damning. Public outrage exploded. Community leaders demanded reform. Parents protested in front of the precinct. The department had no choice but to change. Within weeks, new policies were introduced. Officers had to verify facts before detaining minors. Mandatory bias awareness training every 6 months. Random body cam audits to catch discriminatory behavior. And most importantly, a civilian oversight board with real power to investigate racial profiling. It wasn't just about punishing 2 officers. It was about rewriting a broken system. Meanwhile, at First National Bank, the reforms came fast and hard. Chairman Morrison worked 18-hour days repairing the institution's reputation. Every employee, from tellers to senior executives, underwent 40 hours of training on bias and ethical service. New rules were put in place. No one under 18 could be denied service or reported to authorities without 2 managers' approval. Staff were taught to treat young customers with patience and respect. A new position was created, youth banking specialist, dedicated to helping minors open their first accounts without judgment. In the months that followed, First National transformed from a scandal-ridden name into a model of inclusion. The story of Jessica Williams became required reading in every branch. That night, when Angela finally picked Jessica up from the detention center, the drive home was silent. City lights blurred past the windows as Jessica stared out, tears streaking her cheeks. "Mom," she whispered, "why did that woman hate me so much?" "I didn't do anything." Angela pulled the car to the side of the road. Her voice softened. "Baby, what happened today wasn't about what you did. It was about how some people see you before they even listen." Jessica frowned through her tears. "But we have money. We live in a nice house. Doesn't that matter?" Angela took her hand. "No, because prejudice doesn't care about wealth or education. It only sees color." Then she took a deep breath. "Sweetheart, there's something I need to tell you. The truth about our family." Over the next hour, in the parked car beneath the city glow, Angela revealed everything. Their immense fortune, the Rodriguez banking dynasty, the billion-dollar holdings, the power that came with their name. Jessica listened, wide-eyed. "Why didn't you tell me before?" "Because I wanted you to build character first," Angela said. "To know kindness before power." Jessica was quiet for a moment. "So, we could have stopped what happened?" "Yes, but now we'll make sure it never happens to anyone else." The next few weeks changed Jessica forever. She devoured books on civil rights, economic inequality, and the history of racial discrimination in finance. Her fear turned into purpose. 1 month later, the Rodriguez Family Foundation launched an initiative called Financial Justice for All. It funded legal aid for families facing discrimination, created workshops for young people learning banking rights, and opened a hotline for victims of bias in financial institutions. Jessica became the face of the campaign, speaking at schools and youth centers. Her message was simple. Every young person deserves to be treated with dignity and respect, no matter their age or color. Thousands reached out, sharing their own painful stories. Many said they had never realized they had rights. A week after Sharon's firing, Angela returned to First National Bank, this time to speak to every employee. She stood in the same marble lobby where her daughter had been humiliated. Her presence was commanding, her voice calm but edged with power. "My Family built wealth in a time when people like us were denied bank accounts, she began. My great-grandfather was told to his face that he wasn't good enough. He proved them. Wrong. He built this bank. The staff stood silent. 3 generations later, his great-granddaughter walked into this building and was treated like a criminal. The irony would be laughable if it weren't so. Tragic, her tone hardened. Respect isn't given, it's demanded. But real power means protecting those who don't have any. The speech was recorded, shared online, and went viral. Millions watched as Angela turned her fury into a lesson in justice. Even rival banks quoted her words. 3 months later, Jessica walked back into First National Bank. This time with her head held high, the staff greeted her with the utmost respect. A youth specialist personally helped her open her checking account, the same one that had sparked all the chaos. Took just 5 minutes. She smiled as she received her first bank card, the words, "Account holder, Jessica Williams," gleaming across it. "Thank you," she said softly. "Not just for me, for everyone after me." Her mother watched from the lobby, pride shining in her eyes. As for Sharon, her fall was complete. No bank, insurance firm, or credit company would hire her again. Her once prestigious resume was now a scarlet letter. She took small retail jobs, avoiding eye contact when customers recognized her name. Every headline about banking reforms reminded her of the life she had thrown away. Ironically, her story became a training example in bias awareness programs across the country. The woman who once looked down on others now served as the nation's warning against discrimination. Months later, during a televised interview, Jessica was asked what she had learned. She smiled. Older, wiser, stronger. That respect isn't about money or power. It's about humanity. And when the world tries to silence you, speak louder. Because truth always finds its voice. Her words echoed everywhere, from classrooms to conference halls, and somewhere her great-grandfather would have smiled, knowing that the legacy he began had found its fiercest defender yet. If you stand against injustice and believe every child deserves fairness, share this story, because what happened to Jessica Williams reminds us that one voice, raised in courage, can change an entire system.